Hello and welcome to this Axel Lawson Project in a Box video session. In this session we're going to be taking a little bit more of a detailed look through the Community Edition running Prince2 2017 method template, a bit more like a training sort of session for you on it. I'm Malcolm West and I'm going to take you through that. So, when you first install Community Edition, you will find this green box on your desktop. You may also find the planner icon as well. Both these are usually installed at the same time. And when you come into here, you'll be able to either create a new project or open an existing one. Well, we have an example one here already. The other methods that we talked about in the other session are here as well, but we want to open the Prince2 2017 method template. And here it is with navigation diagram. So we can simply point and click around here. You'll notice in some areas the cursor changes to a hand. That means I can click on something. So if I want to see everything associated with the planner theme, I can click in that area and it will show me in the Explorer over here the documentation associated with the plan theme, the plans at the project level and those at the stage level. And we've got one stage pre-populated here. And as I go to change, perhaps it'll show me that, or progress, or organisation, or business case, immediately taking me to that set of documentation. And it'll be that set of documentation as is currently populated within this project. So the business case management product and its content, in this case just a template, will appear potentially in many different processes or themes or library areas. But we'll always get the latest content shown wherever we see that management product. So this is allowing us to jump to that latest set every time. Now, as well as going through the themes, we can also come to the process by clicking on the center, and here we'll see the hopefully now familiar Prince2 process framework. We've got all the different events and records here. Now if you click on a particular event and record, it takes you to the full set. We haven't separated them all out separately, and this is actually really useful because you can get a feel for which ones have been collected. Have we collected the various notifications and requests and responses down through the process of the project or the particular stage? And it gives us a good feel for how well our project is documented. Of course, mainly we're going to be following through the processes, and we'll come across some of these events and records merged in with the process documentation as we do that. So for example, if we come to the very start and click on project mandate, Prince2 method template says we receive a project mandate, so there isn't a template here for that, but we can add one if we want to. So I can do add file, and I can browse to find something. Well, on my desktop here I've got some documentation. Somebody's given me a document which I can just simply drop in there, and it keeps a copy of that for me. And I can drop in as many things as I want to, and they can be anything. They can be emails, notes of meetings, drawings, screenshots, anything you would like, links to articles, etc. So we're collecting that information. As we progress down through, we say now we're going to prepare the outline business case. Well, it's going to show me my mandate, as I said, with whatever content I've put into it at each point. And now I can see the other actual things that I'm supposed to be working on, and you'll see here it gives me a hint and a tip. It tells me what I'm supposed to be doing with these things at this point in the process. So I'm going to have my business case template here. If I want to view it, I just double click on it and it goes away and opens using the associated application. So it's a Word file, it's opening in Word. And here it is. So we've got the template with the headings and detailed guidance on how to complete that. So this is really substantial bit of information here, taking you through what you need to do, at what point in the process, and then what you actually need to put into it to meet the quality requirements, etc. for that documentation. So we can close that. If I wanted to make some changes to it, actually, I would check it out instead. So as this says, check out is to edit the file. We save it and we check it back in. So this time I'm checking it out rather than just viewing it. So this time I'm going to come in and make some changes to this file and simply save and close and check it back in. First draft. We don't have to put a comment in here, but it's helpful just to remind us what we've been doing in particular versions, because actually the system stores all the versions. Double clicking, as I did earlier in the tree here, will give me the latest copy as a view. But I can come down through the history here, and I could still go back and view the original version or the next or the first draft or any other versions as I'm creating a long set of those. So this is really useful as you're making changes to the documentation, which always unfortunately happens, and getting input from various people. You can go forwards and backwards through the versions if you want to, seeing what they said at that point in time. And of course, as we said, we can collect additional information into these spaces. So we said before they could be links to files that we already had. We also have a template library for the sort of files that happen more than once. And in fact, there's an example mandate here that we could have used. But we've got, for example, work packages. In the work package area, we'll have one work package because we don't know how many you're going to have. And so you can add 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 25th copies of that work package using exactly the same template. And that's the same for other roles and documentation which we may have more than one example of. So we can add those. We can also from here add shortcuts, so we can add links to other things. So supplier websites, standards documentation, policy information, etc. You can link out to that. What we do is store the link in the system and take you to that destination whenever you click on it from here. So great for documenting all that sort of thing, and obviously we're building that up, and as we can see here, documents coming in, and as I progress on through to the next part, we'll see some more things coming in. Some things don't always have templates, like the approach here. Other things will have templates, so we've got roles and appointments to make, and coming through to producing a daily log, and we'll come through to the end here. Here we start to see merging in with the events and records that we want to be collecting, and out to directing a project, and that will then take us on, and in theory we can work our way through all these steps, clicking through the diagram, and it'll take us all the way through the process to the end or to a foreshortened finish of the project, etc. So this tool is really about helping you through, all of those steps in detail, storing all that documentation for you, giving you the latest things at the point where you really need them. So keeping you completely in touch and authentic with this approach. One of the things I wanted to just pick out was about using the planner tool. So here we've got an SPN file, and that's that extension is automatically opened by planner tool. So I mentioned schedules, risk and issue registers, etc. also use planner. So if we open that schedule, just like the Word file opened in Word, this will open using the planner application. And we'll get that up here. So this one is set up to just be a plan, so it's got plan. It offers us also a calendar and a milestone view on the project as well. We've got a sort of dummy template plan here, and we can come in and start working on this, milestones, plans, predecessors, groupings, etc. by just clicking into the task, and we'll then be able to update the information associated with it. It's percentage complete, start and end dates, predecessor arrangements, resources and costs, all those other things that we were talking about earlier. And Planner has a fully detailed set of video tutorials supporting how to use it. A little bit more obviously involved than perhaps the simple Community Edition, which is just using documents you've already got. So that would be Planner in a plan type mode. If we come all the way back and explore this in a little bit different way and come into, for example, risks, and we'll see our risk register here, so using the themes rather than the process, and I come to risk register, and this time I'm going to open it, same planner application opening it, but it's going to open it using a risk approach instead. So we've got the risk version of planner. Now, and some methods, in fact, if you look at our project in a box methods in here, frameworks, you'll see that we generally use a combined register. So Planner is set up to support plans, risks and issues all in one file. In a more bigger structured method where different things come and go and are dealt with at different points in the process, they're separated out. So they're 3 separate files here in the project, in the Prince2 2017 method template. And obviously the same idea here, you'll click into the item to start working on it, and there's various bits of analysis and things that you can do here as well. And obviously the same sort of thing applies to the issues one as well. So last couple of things to look through here. We've looked at themes, we've looked at the processors. We also have a library, the different groupings of documentation within the method, so you can come and see all the roles, all the checklists, and in fact this method includes a checklist, a health check spreadsheet. You can go through, check off the items, it's going to score all that for you, and you can keep a record, of course, versioning that as you go through. There's also a principles document to keep you as a guide of the overall principles of Prince2. Is your project complying with that appropriately? And we've got, of course, the other groupings, baselines, records, reports, etc. We also provide some links to useful additional resources, so you can get to the official Axelos glossary from here, from the link, to the TSO bookstore, and also to the Project in a Box free Prince2 related stuff page as well. And of course back to our website should you want to follow up with any questions. So this is quite an integrated little tool. Hopefully from that video you'll see it's pretty straightforward to use. It's just simple point and click, using the files that you're already familiar with to help document your project, working with the templates that are there, and at points if you want to be a bit more sophisticated, using the planner side of things to get into sort of the project controls in a more sophisticated way. Okay, so I hope you found that helpful. If you have any further questions, do contact us and let us know. Thank you very much.